Have you ever stood in front of the mirror and just asked yourself, why? Why, after trying to eat healthy, after walking every day, do my knees still click and crack every time I stand up? Why does my energy feel like an old phone battery, fully charged in the morning, but completely drained by 3 in the afternoon? You've done everything by the book. You choose the salad over the fried foods. You eat fruit every single day. You believe you're doing the absolute best for your body. But what if I told you that the very culprit behind that fatigue and those aching joints might be disguised as the one thing you trust the most to be healthy? What if I told you that the silent enemy isn't your age, but a hidden truth, sitting right there in your fruit bowl? In this video, we are not going to blame fruit. Instead, we are going to unmask the real enemy, hidden sugar, and the way it silently erodes your strength from the inside out. And most importantly, I am going to show you how to win the fight against it without having to give up the fruits you truly love. Before we point fingers at any specific fruits, it's absolutely crucial that we understand why. Why does our body at 60, 70, or even 80 become such sensitive ground for sugar? The answer isn't just one thing. It's a combination of 3 powerful changes happening inside you right now. First, let's talk about the body's gatekeeper. Imagine that insulin is a friendly gatekeeper. His job is to open the doors to your body's cells, letting sugar come inside to be used for energy. When we're young, this gatekeeper is sharp. He hears the faintest knock and opens the door right away. But as we get older, our gatekeeper becomes a little hard of hearing. He doesn't hear the knock as easily. So, your body has to shout. Your pancreas has to produce more and more insulin, a louder and louder yell, just to get the gatekeeper to do his job. This is what scientists call insulin resistance. And here's the problem. When your body is constantly shouting, when your insulin levels are always high, it's like a constant blaring alarm. That alarm is a red flag that flips on your body's master inflammation switch. It creates a low-grade, simmering inflammation throughout your entire system. And where does that inflammation love to settle? In your joints. But that's only the first part of the story. There's another critical organ working overtime, your liver. Think of your liver as a tireless factory. It's the main facility for processing a specific type of sugar called fructose, which is very common in fruits. In our youth, this factory is state-of-the-art. It can handle huge shipments of fructose without any trouble. But after 60 years of non-stop work, that factory is tired. Its machinery is older, and it gets overloaded much more easily. So when a large shipment of fructose arrives from, say, a big glass of juice or a large bowl of sweet fruit, the factory can't keep up. It can't convert all that fructose into energy. Instead, it does the only thing it can. It starts turning that excess sugar into fat, which can lead to a fatty liver. Even worse, it converts it into a substance you may have heard of, uric acid. Uric acid is the crystal-like compound that is the #1 enemy of gout and is a primary cause of excruciating joint pain. So now we have widespread inflammation caused by high insulin, and we have joint pain causing uric acid being produced by an overloaded liver. The final piece of the puzzle is understanding how these troublemakers travel to your joints and cause so much damage. Let's imagine your circulatory system is a beautiful flowing river. When you're young, the river is wide, fast, and clear. But with age, that river naturally begins to flow a bit slower. The current isn't as strong. This means that the inflammatory waste products generated by sugar have more time to settle. They get stuck. And where do they get stuck? They accumulate in the bends of the river, which are your joints, especially the joints furthest from the heart, like your knees, your ankles, your fingers, and your toes. This is why you might feel perfectly fine at night, but wake up with stiff, aching hands or find it hard to take those first few steps out of bed. The inflammatory agents have had all night to pull in your joints. So you see, It's this perfect storm happening inside our bodies after 60. A deaf gatekeeper demanding more insulin, a tired factory producing uric acid, and a slow river allowing it all to build up in our joints. It isn't your fault. It's simply the new reality of our biology. And by understanding this reality, we can finally begin to fight back intelligently. Now, with that understanding, let's look at the specific sources of this hidden sugar. Now, with a clear understanding of how our bodies have changed, let's look at 7 common fruits. Remember, our goal here is not to label these fruits as bad. It is to recognize that they carry the potent sugar bomb that can easily overload your system if you're not mindful. First on our list is pineapple, the sweet inflamer. Yes, we've all heard that pineapple contains a special enzyme called bromelain, which is famous for its anti-inflammatory properties. And that's true. It's why so many people reach for it, thinking they are fighting joint pain. But here is the paradox. A ripe pineapple is also packed with sugar. A single, large glass of pineapple juice can contain as much sugar as a can of soda, delivering an instant sugar shock to your system. That sudden spike in blood sugar forces your deaf gatekeeper, your insulin, to work overtime, which, as we now know, flips the switch on system-wide inflammation. So while one part of the pineapple might be trying to put out the fire, the massive sugar load is pouring gasoline on it. This is why you might eat pineapple for your joints, only to find they feel more puffy and achy the next day. Second, we have the banana, the fake energy champion. Bananas are world famous for being a source of potassium and quick energy. They are the go-to snack for athletes. But that quick energy is precisely the problem for those of us over 60. A banana is essentially a carb bomb. It's digested very rapidly, causing your blood sugar to soar. Your body releases a huge wave of insulin to deal with it. And what follows that massive spike? An equally massive crash. That's the feeling of your energy suddenly vanishing in the afternoon. It's not just you getting tired. It's a real biological event. And that constant cycle of spiking and crashing insulin does more than just drain your energy. It continuously promotes inflammation, making your legs feel heavy and your joints feel stiff. Third on our list is a snack many of us enjoy by the handful: grapes. We can call them the uric acid trigger. They're easy, convenient, and sweet, but their small size is deceptive. It's incredibly easy to eat a huge amount of sugar without even realizing it. The main issue with grapes is their highly concentrated dose of fructose. As we discussed, this fructose goes straight to your tired liver factory. When the factory gets overloaded with fructose from a large bunch of grapes, it starts converting it into uric acid. This uric acid then travels through your bloodstream and deposits as sharp, painful crystals in your joints. If you've ever felt a sudden, sharp pain in your big toe or your finger joints feel unusually sore, it could be a direct result of the uric acid produced after enjoying that healthy bowl of grapes. Fourth, let's talk about a summer favorite, watermelon, the hidden sugar flood. On a hot day, nothing seems better. It's 92% water, so it must be good for you, right? It is hydrating, yes, but watermelon has an extremely high glycemic index. This means the sugar it contains hits your bloodstream almost instantly, like a flash flood. For a younger person's system, they can handle that flood. But for our slower river circulation, it's a disaster. The system is overwhelmed. That sugar flood causes a massive inflammatory response. And because our circulation is less efficient, that inflammation tends to pool in our lower extremities. That heavy, swollen, tired feeling you get in your calves and ankles, it can often be traced back to the sugar flood from that seemingly innocent slice of watermelon. Fifth is the classic symbol of health, the orange, also known as the acidic agitator. Drink your orange juice, it's full of vitamin C. We've heard it our entire lives, and vitamin C is fantastic. But an orange presents a double whammy for aging joints. First, like the others, it's high in sugar, which fuels the fire of inflammation. But second, it is highly acidic. For joints that are already sensitive and inflamed, the tissues are very delicate. Introducing a high level of citric acid can be like pouring salt on a wound. It can directly irritate those sensitive joint tissues, while the sugar is simultaneously fanning the flames of inflammation. It's a 1-2 punch that can leave your joints feeling sore and agitated. Number 6 is one that might truly surprise you: the green apple, or the healthy deceiver. Green apples are widely promoted as the healthy apple choice because they are lower in sugar. And while this is true, lower doesn't mean low. For a sensitive system, the sugar in a green apple can still be enough to trigger a blood sugar spike and a subsequent energy crash. But there's another issue: malic acid. This is what gives green apples their tart taste. For some aging digestive systems, this high concentration of malic acid can be an irritant. And when your digestion is irritated, it can trigger a low-grade inflammatory response throughout your body. So you might be choosing the green apple to be healthy, but find yourself dealing with unexplained night cramps or morning stiffness, all because of this healthy deceiver. Finally, number 7, the king of tropical fruits, the mango. Let's call it the sugar explosion. There is no other way to describe it. A ripe mango is perhaps one of the most delicious things on earth, but it is a pure sugar explosion in your body. The amount of sugar in a single mango can be staggering, causing a dramatic and immediate spike in your blood sugar. Your pancreas goes into emergency mode, pumping out insulin. This leads to a massive inflammatory response that can be felt deep in the soft tissues of your body. It's not the sharp pain of uric acid from grapes, but a deep, dull, persistent ache. That kind of inflammation loves to settle in the large, soft tissue areas around your hips, your knees, and your ankles, making every step feel heavy and labored. We've just walked through 7 different fruits: pineapple, bananas, grapes. It can feel a little overwhelming. It might even seem like everything you enjoy is suddenly off limits. You might be thinking you have to give up on fruit entirely. But please, don't. Because now I am going to share with you the single most important truth of this entire video. A secret that, once you understand it, will completely change the way you look at food forever. I want you to listen very closely. Pause. The problem is not the fruit. Pause. The problem is the speed and the amount of sugar that hits your system all at once. Let me say that again. The real enemy isn't the banana. It's the massive sugar shock that a whole banana delivers to your body in a single sitting. This is the key that unlocks everything. Scientists have a term for this. They call it the glycemic load. You don't need to remember the scientific term. You only need to remember what it means for you. Think of the glycemic load as a simple rating for the sugar shock that a specific portion of food will cause. A high glycemic load means a big shock. A low one means a gentle, manageable effect. For example, a whole, large banana might have a high glycemic load. It's a big shock to your system. But half a banana? Its glycemic load is much, much lower. It's a smaller, gentler wave of sugar that your body can actually handle. The fruit is the same. The portion is what changes the game. Let me give you a visual that I want you to remember. Imagine that your body's ability to process sugar after age 60 is like a small bucket. It's a perfectly good bucket. It's strong and it does its job. But its capacity is simply smaller than the giant barrel you had 30 years ago. Now, imagine you eat a large ripe mango all by itself for a snack. This is like taking a giant pail of water and dumping it into that small bucket all at once. What happens? Of course, it overflows. Water goes everywhere. That overflow in your body is inflammation. It's fatigue. It's uric acid flooding your joints. It's your body going into emergency mode and storing that excess as fat. That is the sugar shock. But now, let's imagine a different scenario. What if you just have a few slices of that very same mango? And what if you eat those slices after a healthy dinner of chicken and vegetables? This is like taking a small cup of water and gently, slowly pouring it into your little bucket. What happens? The bucket handles it perfectly. There is no overflow. There is no shock. There is no emergency. There is no problem. Do you see the difference? The mango didn't change. The way you ate it changed everything. And this brings me to the single most dangerous mistake that so many well-meaning people over 60 make. They think to themselves, fruit is natural, fruit is healthy, so I can eat as much of it as I want. Ladies and gentlemen, with all the care in my heart, I must tell you, that is a mistake that could cost you your very footsteps. It's not about eating less, it's about eating smarter. Now that you understand this game-changing secret, that it's all about managing the size and speed of the sugar shock, the next question is a practical one. How do we do it? How do we control that overflow every single day? It's simpler than you think, and that's exactly what we're going to cover next. So how do we control that sugar shock every single day? How do we prevent that bucket from overflowing? The answer is beautiful in its simplicity. I'm going to give you a two-part secret that is so easy you can start using it at your very next meal. I call it the rule of half and the smart companions. Let's start with the first part, the rule of half. It is exactly what it sounds like. For any of the high-sugar fruits we talked about, the mangoes, the bananas, the grapes, I want you to begin with a simple change. Just eat half of the portion you might normally have. It's that simple. Do you love bananas in the morning? Great. Instead of a whole one, just slice half a banana over your oatmeal. Do you crave the sweet taste of mango for dessert? Wonderful. Enjoy a few delicious, satisfying slices, but not the entire fruit. Instead of a large bunch of grapes that you mindlessly snack on, portion out a small cup and truly savor each one. This isn't about deprivation. It's not about telling yourself no. It's about respecting your body's new capacity. It's about giving it an amount of sugar it can handle with ease, instead of an amount that sends it into emergency mode. This single change alone can dramatically reduce the sugar shock and, in turn, reduce the inflammation in your body. It is the first step to freedom. Now the rule of half is incredibly powerful on its own. But when you combine it with the second part of this secret, it becomes truly unstoppable. That is the principle of the smart companions. Here is the core of this principle. Never let sweet fruit go into your body alone, especially on an empty stomach. An unaccompanied piece of sweet fruit is like a race car with no brakes. It will hit your bloodstream at full speed, so you must always give it a friend to travel with, a smart companion that slows it down. Who are these companions? There are 3 of them. First, you have the fiber friend. Think of fiber as a net. When you eat fruit with something high in fiber, like a small handful of almonds, walnuts, or chia seeds, the fiber creates a kind of net in your stomach. The sugar gets tangled in this net and is released much more slowly into your bloodstream. So, when you have those few slices of apple, have them with a few almonds. The fiber in the nuts will protect you from the sugar shock. Next, you have the healthy fat friend. Healthy fats are another thing that significantly slows down digestion. So think about slicing half a banana into a bowl of full-fat, unsweetened Greek yogurt. The healthy fat and protein in the yogurt act as a powerful buffer for the sugar, ensuring a slow, gentle release of energy. A few slices of avocado alongside your fruit can have the same wonderful effect. And finally, you have the protein friend. This is perhaps the easiest strategy of all. Eat your fruit as a dessert, immediately after a meal rich in protein. The protein from your chicken, fish, or beans is already putting the brakes on your digestion. When the fruit sugar arrives, it has to get in line. It can't race to the front. It's forced to wait its turn, entering your bloodstream slowly and gently over a longer period. Think of these smart companions, fiber, fat, and protein, as speed bumps on a highway. On its own, that fruit sugar wants to race into your system at 100 miles per hour. But these friends force it to slow down. They make it go over the speed bumps, nice and easy. This prevents the crash, it prevents the shock, and it prevents the inflammation. So that is the beautiful, simple secret. First, the rule of half. Second, always pair your fruit with a smart companion. This is a strategy that doesn't ask you to give up what you love. It simply asks you to enjoy it more wisely, more mindfully, and in a way that truly serves your body. So, we have our defensive strategy, the rule of half, and the smart companions. This is how we protect ourselves. But health isn't just about defense. It's also about going on the offense. Besides eating smarter, we can also actively recruit true warriors into our diet, powerful foods that don't just prevent damage, but actively work to extinguish the flames of inflammation and rebuild your fortress of health from the inside out. Let's meet 5 of these incredible fruit warriors. Our first warrior comes in small packages but carries immense power. Berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. Think of these as nature's jewels. Their deep, vibrant colors, the rich blue, the brilliant red, are not just for show. That color comes from powerful compounds called anthocyanins. These are your body's personal police force. They travel through your system and actively hunt down and neutralize the inflammatory free radicals that cause damage to your cells and joints. Adding a handful of mixed berries to your morning yogurt or oatmeal isn't just a treat. It's like sending in a specialized cleanup crew to protect your body. Next, let's talk about a fan favorite, the avocado. I like to call it the healthy fat that lubricates your joints. If your body is an engine, then the chronic inflammation we've discussed is like sand grinding in the gears, causing friction and pain. The healthy monounsaturated fats in avocados are like high-quality engine oil. They lubricate your entire system, including your joints, reducing that painful friction. What's more, peas' incredible fats help to stabilize your blood sugar, making avocado not just a warrior on its own, but also one of the best smart companions you can find. Try starting your day with a smoothie made from spinach, half an avocado, and a scoop of protein. It's a powerhouse of joint-soothing nutrition. Our third warrior is a secret weapon, especially for anyone whose ears perked up when I mentioned uric acid. That warrior is cherries, particularly tart cherries. Think of them as the natural enemy of uric acid. Cherries contain unique compounds that have been shown to help your kidneys excrete uric acid from your system more efficiently. They don't just manage the pain, they help remove the very substance that causes it in the first place. For anyone who struggles with gout or that specific, sharp joint pain, cherries can be a true game changer. A small bowl of fresh cherries after dinner or a small glass of unsweetened tart cherry juice can be a powerful part of your nightly routine. The fourth warrior brings a taste of the tropics, papaya. This is the gut and joint soother. Papaya is rich in a special digestive enzyme called papain. Think of papain as a gentle, internal housekeeper. It helps to break down proteins and soothe your digestive tract. A happy, calm digestive system is one of the cornerstones of low inflammation throughout the body. When your gut is calm, your joints are often calmer too. The papain, along with papaya's rich vitamin content, acts as a soothing balm for your entire body. Enjoying a few slices of fresh papaya is a delicious way to promote both digestive health and joint comfort. And finally, our fifth warrior is for those moments when you just want something simply and safely sweet. Meet the pear, gentle sweetness with a built-in fiber friend. Pears offer a wonderful, satisfying sweetness, but they have a key advantage. They come pre-packaged with a significant amount of fiber, as we know. That fiber is a smart companion that ensures the pear's natural sugar is released slowly and gently into your bloodstream. This makes it an ideal choice when you want a sweet dessert or snack without worrying about a sugar shock. A perfectly ripened pear, perhaps with a sprinkle of cinnamon, is one of the most joint-friendly ways to satisfy your sweet tooth. These are not just fruits. These are your tools. These are your delicious, powerful allies in the mission to reclaim your strength, your mobility, and your vibrant health. We have covered so much ground together. We've unmasked the real enemy behind our pain and fatigue. We've discovered the game-changing secret of the sugar shock, and we have met our warrior fruits that can help us fight back. Knowledge is powerful, but action is what creates change. So let's bring everything together into a simple, clear plan that you can start this very day. Here is your 4-step action plan for the next 7 days. Step 1. Awareness. For the next week, simply become aware. Notice when and where the 7 sugar bomb fruits appear in your diet. No judgment, just awareness. Step 2. Apply the rule of half. The next time you reach for one of those fruits, try cutting your usual portion in half. Just try it and see how you feel. Step 3. Find a smart companion. Remember the golden rule: never eat sweet fruit alone. Always pair it with a friend, a handful of nuts, a scoop of yogurt, or enjoy it after a protein-rich meal. And step 4. Add a warrior. Make an effort to add just one of our 5 anti-inflammatory fruits to your diet each day. A handful of berries, a few slices of avocado. It's a simple, powerful step forward. That's it. That's the plan. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Because the strength in your legs is not just for walking, it is freedom. It is the joy of playing with your grandchildren without worrying. It is the independence to live a full, vibrant life on your own terms. The small, intelligent change you make today is a promise you make to yourself for a stronger, more confident tomorrow. If this video has brought you value, please show your support by clicking the like button, subscribing to our channel, and sharing this with someone you love. And I truly want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below. Which fruit will you start applying the rule of half to first? Thank you for watching.